I went to church as a little girl and everything. We went to this little tiny house where we all met, and I loved kids ministry because I loved dancing around and singing, but I was a gymnast, and gymnastics kind of took hold of life, and I was very competitive with it and stopped going to church on Sundays. I ended up getting injured, and it was just kind of the timing was right to step out of it, and I did. But then it was like, well, what do I do now? I ended up going to a Christian college because my boyfriend was going and my best friend was going and his best friend was going, the group of us that was all at the church. So I'm like, I'm going then, because I had no plans at the time yet. That's when things took a turn. I had dealt with depression and anxiety in high school, but it was always just kind of in the background. Little marks hidden in gymnastic scars, cuts and things that were already cut, taking enough pain pills to just say, oh, it was my back was hurting. When I got to college, it got worse. I started taking medication. Medication was making me sick, though. And every time I tried to talk to someone, just pray it away. Just pray about it. And I was still learning faith at the time. I just gotten rebaptized before I went and everything like that. And I thought I was like, I got this thing. Like, this is easy. One of the days I decided I was done. Now I can see it was God's grace, but in the time, I thought it was just timing that my friends ended up finding me and grabbing me from the bathroom and taking me to the hospital there. I love my church. But during that time, nobody knew what to think. Nobody knew what to say. You know, it wasn't all out there either or anything. And I wanted people to talk about it, though, instead. I always said, felt like a China doll. And I had always prided myself on being so strong and strong of a person. Young me would hate this right now. I still went to church. I hated it every week. And I had this friend that was in the church and stuff like that. She had given me a psalm to read, and it was Psalm 86. Some of my favorite because David is so easy to relate to in the sense of like this kind of like, hey God, I'm dying here, but like I'll trust you, I'll believe in you, you know, like there was a day it kind of just clicked again. Where I'm kind of at with my faith now is a place of growth. Pastor Rob has been doing this amazing Practicing the Way course, and it's been really helpful for me to learn and things like that. Because yes, like I said, I grew up with the church, but I didn't learn those steps, like of how to really be a believer. Like it takes work. It's not as simple as like, hey God, I trust you, and then that's it. Like, you gotta put in work. But like knowing now it's not that God gave me depression. It's not that he wants me to be depressed or have anxiety about things. But what God's going to do with that is turn it into something good, and he's going to turn it into a way I can help someone else. Because if you haven't been through it, you don't know it. And I think that's been the way I've been able to cope with some of the things I've had to go through. I think my belief in God almost becomes stronger because of it. Because despite the depression, despite the anxiety, I somehow still have faith. And I still want to. Faith community church has always been a constant. But what I'm excited most about is where it's going next. But one thing that the church has done and the people of the church has done has always kept God at the center of it. So no matter how many new speakers we get or how many kids are in the back, what's going to matter is the people in the building and the love we're pouring out. And that's just going to continue to grow as we get more people.